You're listening to From Find to Fabulous podcast, where we explore energy, mindset, spirituality, and all things woo. I'm Michelle, here with Dillon and Wright, and together we are on this journey with all of you to transform our lives from mundane to magical. Welcome back, everybody.
Hey.
Hello.
Ready to jump into another topic?
I'm ready. What's the topic?
Today I thought we'd talk about manifestation.
Okay.
Oh, I like that. I've been practicing that a lot, actually.
Have you?
Yes.
That's awesome.
I've been practicing that quite a bit lately.
We heard a lot of talk out on different things and platforms, whatever, about manifestation. So I thought we would just talk about it a little bit. And for those of you who aren't familiar with it, manifestation is basically focusing your thoughts, your beliefs, and your energy to attract what you desire.
I like that.
So the thing is, even though you may not be consciously trying to manifest something, could you possibly be manifesting all the time without knowing it?
That's a good one.
Because remember, the definition is focusing your thoughts, your beliefs, and energy to attract what you desire.
Like a vision board?
Oh, yeah, that's an example. But think about it. If you aren't purposely trying to manifest something new, but your energy, your thoughts, your beliefs are on autopilot, everything that you experience in your life is a result of that, your thoughts, your beliefs, and what your focus is on.
So if you just play the victim all the time, then you're manifesting being the victim?
Yeah, more and more opportunities to be the victim.
Oh.
And so it's, the not being aware of it. So if you look at your life and the things that you've experienced, or, the situation that you're in, and you decide, oh, I want more than this, or I want something different, I want something better, I want whatever, then you have to change your thoughts, your beliefs, and your energy to align with what it is you want, because you are experiencing where your thoughts, energy, and beliefs have been aligned.
Yes. Yeah, it's like your I guess when you said that just now, like your nest, you bring all those things into your home space and you just sit in it, right?
So, yeah, so I think, there's probably a lot of people out there who have certain beliefs around what they are able to achieve in life. And so if you are of the mindset that I will never make more than whatever, fill in the number,
X amount of dollars.
X amount of dollars a year. If that's your belief, then that's what you're going to experience. But if you decide that you can make more than that, and you set your belief around that, and your thoughts around that, and your intentions around that, and you're taking the action towards that, then chances are you will exceed that, right? So those are the kinds of things. So it's like our subconscious beliefs and thoughts are giving us the result of the experience that we're experiencing right now, right? So everything that you're experiencing now, you have because of your past thoughts, beliefs, actions, those kinds of things. So,
you just have to change that.
yeah, if you choose to, and not everybody chooses to aspire to something different, but if you aren't aware that it's a choice that you can, or that it's even possible, then you probably wouldn't necessarily. So you just have to think about it in your life right now. What are the things that you're experiencing? What is in your general, field of energy, and what is in your experience? And if you're thinking about that and thinking, oh, well, is this where I want to be? do I aspire for something different? Well, you have to think about it and say, okay, well, what have I been focusing on?
Mm. Yeah, you have to think about
You
it.
have to think about it. It has to be a conscious thing that
It's like stop and analyze.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So what got me here, right? So what are my thoughts? Because a lot of times we don't even think about what we're thinking. We're just thinking it. And it's on, autopilot. It just goes on.
Yeah, I mean, in today's world, you're on a routine.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess in every existence, you're on a routine at some level.
Right.
Survive.
And don't you
right?
think that probably most people create some sort of pattern that they repeat every day?
Yeah.
You get up in the morning at the same time. You do the same routine when you're getting ready, from one thing to the next. You get in your car to drive to work if you drive to work, and you usually take the same route every time, unless
Yes.
there's something that forces you to take a different route. If you work from home, you go about getting ready and moving to your space in your home office where you're going to work in the same pattern every day, whether that includes letting the dog out, whether making your coffee, having breakfast, whatever, doing a meditation, going on a walk. It's usually the same pattern. And I think people normally do that because that creates your comfort zone. And we are creatures of habit and control and comfort. And so when something goes awry, think about it. How do you feel?
It's a shock.
Yeah, kind of shocks your system, throws you off for that moment, or, who knows for how long, maybe the whole entire day, because something happened different and threw you off your routine that morning.
That could, and this just went through my head, but that could be like a reason people are anxious because they never venture out of their comfort zone. So, like, they never go outside. So, when they do have to go outside, they're like anxious and freaking out.
Right. And usually it's because of some thought.
Right.
Fear of fill in the blank.
But they haven't thought of that yet.
Right.
So
but that's why they feel anxious, because they've got a pattern in their thinking process that's already happening behind the scenes that they don't realize. And so the anxiety is fear of what might happen. Fear of whatever. Getting lost. Not being in the comfort zone. The unknown. Failure. Whatever it is. That's why people get anxious.
Yeah. I think it's funny because I used to never have a routine. And now that I do, if I get off of that routine, I get anxious. Or start to feel anxious.
Is it the uncertainty?
No, it's just like I think I got so accustomed to it like helping me mentally to kind of, I used to make the bed every day, or the dogs have to go out. Now there's 2 of them. And, so I try to stay on track. But sometimes when I start to veer off of it, I start to feel like, like I'm getting behind, but I'm really not. It's just it's just a feeling, so, and as far as manifesting goes, I think that, I mentioned vision board earlier, but a lot of the things that I've always thought that had to be in my future were like physical things, but I think more or less now it's mindset and starting like internally versus externally. Because I think when I started focusing on the external things, if I didn't get them or didn't have them, I put a value on myself because I didn't or did, where it didn't really mean anything. And then also whenever I accomplish something, I'm like, okay, well now what? Like, it's like the dog that's chasing the rabbit, but catches the rabbit or the squirrel, and they catch it, and they're like, what do you do with it now?
You kill it.
Yeah, yeah, probably, or lick it to death.
I bet they're just trying to play.
That's possible.
They
But Mother
kill
Nature
it.
usually may not end up that way. But yeah, no, I just think that I didn't really think about manifestation until you mentioned it today, or if I was doing it, I didn't consider it. That's what it was. So yeah, it'll be interesting to kind of see what your thoughts are. And when you said someone is potentially manifesting and not knowing it, I'm curious to know more about that.
Yeah. And it's just, whatever you are experiencing in your life, where you are in life, because most of us have some sort of conception when we're younger that, like, picture yourself back in high school and you were getting towards the end of high school, and then you had to make the decision, what am I going to do with my life? Right? I'm going to go to college, or I'm going to have a job, or I'm going to, do this for the rest of my life. Or maybe I don't have any idea what I'm going to do.
Get a part-time job and then quit my job and then spend all my money and then get another job.
Yeah. And so,
Repeat the
it's
cycle.
Yeah.
It's, when you try to figure those things out, right? And when you are deciding those things, you have some sort of internal belief about what it is you can achieve, or what you are good enough for, or what you are worthy of, or, people like me do this, achieve this.
What are some of the things, maybe like the top one or two things that you think can keep people from like achieving
That
like
I'm on the same path
yeah,
as you.
I can't think
I'm
of the
thinking
word.
of how to articulate it, but that is something I think that can get into somebody's head and determine the rest of their life, and also like how they raise children and pass it down. So then it becomes like a generational thing where they just, oh well,
It's a belief.
my name is this, so this is what I do, or
Yeah.
I was born in this tax bracket, so I'm just, this is what my family did,
Yeah.
so now
Every
I have to do it.
Dillon I know
Yeah.
is this.
Every Wright I know is awesome.
Yes, and all of that is absolutely accurate, because we, as children, as babies, grow up in a family,
Mhm.
and our family's beliefs and thoughts and patterns are modeled to us. So we absorb that, and we take that on as our own.
Yeah.
Whether it is our own or not, we take it on as our own.
And you don't realize it.
You don't realize you're doing that, of course not. But then we do what you said, we repeat it.
Mhm.
And then we have children, and we model those things to our children. Unless there is some conscious thinking about it where you decide you want to break that pattern.
Break the cycle.
Break the cycle. Do something different. Be better. Be more.
Because I experienced this, I don't want to make someone else go through that experience.
Right.
Or
That goes back to that, that thought where it's like, if you lived a certain way, like strong times weaker men, weak times stronger men, or something like that. I said it backwards.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But like,
but I understand what you're saying.
I see a lot of people I like grew up around in small town Alabama, where rodent infestations and bugs, and half your stuff didn't work in your trailer, and then all the kids all have jobs and careers and nice houses. So it's like I look back at that and I'm like, why did they stay where they were the whole time instead of trying to venture out and like do more and think? But I think they just never thought. They just did.
They just believed that that was their path.
They had faith.
It was just what they grew up believing.
Yeah.
Was what they were supposed to do.
And it's like what they were taught too, I guess.
What they were taught,
by their family.
And think about it. Most, I don't know if I even want to say most, but I would say a lot of people follow in their parents' footsteps. So if you are raised in a family where your mother is a doctor and your father is also a doctor, chances are the child is going to go into the medical field.
Or theater.
Right. Whatever it is.
Not theater.
If you're raised in a family where the mom is a school teacher and, the dad is a software, do you call it engineers?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I mean? So it's what you see. And I don't know about you guys, but when I was in high school and having to make those decisions about what I was going to do in my life, I had no idea all the things that were available to me out there in terms of jobs.
Same.
You know what you experience. You know teachers because you had teachers. You know doctors because you've been to the doctor. You know nurses because you've seen nurses in the doctor's offices. So you know the things that you see in your life. If your, uncle is a plumber, you know plumbing. So you know the things that you have had experience with. You don't know the things about, programming or about,
The background processes that make all that stuff happen.
right, unless you experience it,
Right.
right? Or unless there's somewhere in your
Somebody that
path
tells
along the
you.
way in school where they introduce you to these things and they tell you.
Did you ever take that test in school that told you what you would be when you grew up? They
I don't remember.
They gave us like I don't know how many questions it was. It was like a questionnaire, and it had like all these specialties and careers that you would potentially fall under, and whatever score you got told you what you're more than likely going to be or enjoy. I'm trying to remember what mine was, but I think it had something to do with biology.
Oh, that's interesting.
Or life science. But I think that's what I wanted to do at that moment. So I guess my answers were skewed too. I was trying to manifest being a scientist that
I don't remember like how many questions or anything it was, but I think my test was outdated because it told me
a handmaid.
What? No, it told me like a picture framer.
Oh.
Picture framer.
Wow.
And it told some other girl she would be an artisan.
Oh, okay.
I just think that test might be old.
Or a European.
Or European. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I doubt in Alabama they were doing European studies.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember ever taking one of those tests, but I did get in astrology my birth chart read by an astrologer, and some of the things in there that it said about me that would be good for based on my birth chart was lawyer, referee, coach, teacher.
Ref? Look at your shirt. You're a ref.
I have a striped shirt on today.
She has a striped shirt. That's a synchronicity.
I think it's blue and white, though.
What is?
It is. You're right. Right.
Okay. It's blue?
Mm-hmm.
Navy blue?
Navy blue.
Okay. Because I'm like, I see black stripes. Are we about to have one of those like black dress things? You remember that thing?
Yes.
What color is it?
What
Pink
color
or yellow?
is this? Yeah.
Okay. Navy makes sense though.
Okay. Back to manifestation.
Yes.
Well, what are some of the things that you think would block people from being able to manifest?
Well, the most common things are limiting beliefs, not believing that they are worthy of the thing that they want, and manifestation doesn't have to be a physical thing. It could be health. It could be relationship. It could be a new house. It could be a certain amount of money. It could be whatever. So the things that stop people from achieving are those limiting beliefs, fear of success, because if I do achieve this, can I handle it? Am I just going to turn around and lose it? Am I meant for this? Those kinds of things. Fear of failure, fear of putting your effort behind it and then not achieving it. Again, and especially if you've told people, what are people going to think, right? A lot of times it comes back to that. Lack of clarity of what you really want. If you're wishy-washy and you're not, really focused in on the specific thing that you're wanting and you keep changing it, I think that could definitely get in the way because your focus keeps going from one thing to another.
Do you think they're choosing something because external factors, and then they'll try it and realize they don't like it, so they'll try something else?
Or they try it and it gets a little difficult, or it looks like it's not going to happen, so they're like, oh, I might as well give up and move on to something else.
Yeah. That's sad.
And holding on to resentment and negativity. is also a big blocker of being able to achieve the things that you want. So those are definitely things that get in the way. So how does manifestation work?
I feel like it's the same as everything. It's just put out that energy like into space time.
Yes.
That's what I call it, the force or the universe or whatever.
Yes. And it's creating new neural pathways in your brain is the
Yes.
science behind it, and sort of rewiring your brain, because your brain has been wired since you were a child and you learned all of the things from your family.
We're creatures of habit.
Yes. So if you want something different, you have to create new neural pathways in your brain till those new thoughts, ideas, beliefs become the subconscious thought.
It's discipline.
I just thought of myself walking around with the T-shirt that says "Train my brain."
That's a good one.
That could be a good
I don't
shirt.
know why I just thought of
Could
that.
be a good shirt.
Or just think. Stop and think.
Stop, drop, and
Because
roll.
if you don't think, then you're stuck at, and I'm just like looking at examples in my life, but you know, if you just think you're gonna be a plumber, not saying being a plumber is a bad thing, but you know, if you think you can only be that,
Right.
then
So that's a limiting belief.
like you go work for a plumbing company,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't think about how to start your own plumbing company.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the best way to learn how to do something is to start your own project.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're building on something, you're like, oh, how do I do this? Then you go research how to do that, pull those skills in, you pull these skills in, and then all of a sudden you know how to do a multi thing. But you have to think about that first versus, oh, I'm just gonna
Right. You have
go
to
to work.
decide you want it.
I'm just gonna go to work. And if you don't like your job and you know you're not doing anything to leave your job, then that's on you.
Yeah. And that happens, right? People go into these things. Like you
Mhm.
said, you just think, okay, well, I'm going to be a plumber because everybody in my family's been a plumber for the last 50 years.
Or like I'm gonna go into the military because I'm from a military family.
Right.
And
Well,
I'm scared of what my family would
yes.
think
But
if I don't.
Yes. And if you go into it and you don't like it, and
Yeah.
so you are grudgingly getting up every day and going and doing this thing that you don't like, I imagine that would feel like being stuck.
That's not a good place to raise kids.
I would not think so.
Like
I
you
would
have to
not think
think.
so.
You have to think. That it goes back to I don't like where I'm at. Why am I here? And
Mm-hmm.
then if you don't know, which you know, but maybe you don't want to like face the music, like, oh well, I'm here because I spend too much time doing this stuff versus when I could be doing this stuff. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think, well, thinking obviously is the first step. But if I spin my wheels more than 10 or 15 minutes just thinking, I kind of can spiral into a think spiral. So taking an action at that point is the next step for me.
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
Give
I don't
yourself
like to
time.
feel stuck.
Yes.
yeah.
So manifestation is not just about thinking. It is 100% including you have to take the actions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you set yourself a process.
Yeah.
Think 10 minutes,
Yeah.
5 minutes, take the action.
And that goes with a lot of things, like, whether it's at work, if I don't know how to do something, if I'm spinning my wheels more than 10 minutes, then I'm more than likely not going to get it as quickly as I want to. So, reaching out to somebody to ask for help, or if I'm thinking about a scenario in my head about, family or a relationship or what I'm going to do next or what's the next meal I'm going to have, like, just making sure that I can think about it all I want, but I'm not going to get any type of relief until I make a movement.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the steps then for, what would be a good way to actually manifest something that you desire. If you have done an analysis of your situation and you decide you want to change something, we talked about creating the neural pathways in your brain. So repeatedly focusing on a desire can create or strengthen neural pathways in the brain, making it subconsciously easier to identify opportunities and take actions toward the goals. Your subconscious mind is incredibly powerful and fast, and it's engaged and focusing on your desired outcome, which is leading to those insights, ideas, maybe dreams that you're going to come up with a guided action to take, or whatever. So your subconscious mind is going to start helping once you start focusing your brain and your thought, your desire, into a pattern of thinking. So then once you have that and you start thinking it, then you have to pay attention. Oh, are limiting beliefs popping in that are going to throw me off track? You have to be consciously aware of this. And if they do, you have to replace them with a more positive and empowering thought or belief at that time, because it's those things that sneak in that we don't realize because we're not paying attention, that will throw us off and put us back in our same old thought patterns and same old beliefs, thereby creating more and more of the same old thing we've always had. So we have to remember to stay focused. And then you have to have the belief in the possibility. If you don't believe in the possibility of the thing, having it, then that's going to throw you off. You're never going to get it if you don't believe it's possible. And you have to have positive thinking. You have to have a positive mindset. You have to improve your mood. You have to try to reduce stress, increase your motivation. Because if you are not motivated, you're not going to take the actions. And if you're not taking the actions, you're not going to create anything. So the steps that you would need to do would be, 1, get very clear on what you want. Be very specific about what you want and why you want it. Maybe even write it down. And then you want to visualize. Imagine your life with this thing, or imagine you experiencing this, whatever it is that you're trying to manifest.
Trip.
Imagine how you would feel if you were doing the desired thing. So you want to visualize. And then you want to remember to replace any limiting thoughts with empowering affirmations. You want to switch it around to the positive when you find yourself thinking about the possibility that it's not going to happen, or why you're not worthy of it, or whatever pops up. You've got to switch that around and turn it into why you can achieve it, why you are worthy of it, right? Change it to the opposite. And then you have to take your inspired action. So if you are just thinking it and you're not taking any action, then your process is incomplete and it's not going to happen. And then you have to avoid also obsessing over it. So you got to get into a good place with it, but not being so obsessive about it and trying to force the outcome, but instead sitting back and saying, hey, won't it be really cool when this shows up in my life? How great would that be if I had this or that or whatever. Now you have to also realize that you don't have to be positive 100% of the time. That's not realistic. Okay. So you don't have to, be perfect in your thoughts, your beliefs, whatever, but you do have to catch yourself when the negativity starts creeping in. If you're not catching it, you're throwing yourself off.
It requires thought.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like out of sight, out of mind, but in this case, it's out of mind, out of sight.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to stay focused on it, be positive about it, but don't obsess over it. And so I think there are certain tools that can help you, right? You can journal. You can write a description of your life with this situation or experience or whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. Make it very detailed. You can do vision boards, which I think you brought up earlier, right? So you could create a vision board where you cut out things and put it on this board and you see it every day. That helps keep it on track. You know, if you put it somewhere where you'll see it every day, it helps you keep it in your conscious thoughts. You can meditate on what it is you desire. So during your meditation, just visualize yourself, imagine how you would feel. You can practice gratitude for it even before you have it. You can be grateful for it, because that is a fast way to get something, is to being grateful for it. And then you can create affirmations for yourself or mantras that you repeat to yourself several times a day. So those are ways that you can help, you know, get yourself on track with what you want. And then it could be super fun to start small. So instead of trying to just manifest this huge big thing at first, start small. And when you see the small things appear, it motivates you and makes it kind of like a game where it can be really fun. And I'll give you an example. So a while back, Dillon, I don't know if you remember this. A while back, I was talking to one of my daughters and I said, I'm going to manifest that I'm going to hear somebody say buttercup, which is not something you hear people say very often. The very next day, I go to work and I start a conversation with Dillon and he says buttercup to me.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know what the conversation was.
This happened like twice though.
Yeah.
I think I said something about an animal, like a dolphin.
Was it turtle? I think it was a turtle.
Maybe it was
I don't know,
turtle.
but that was another one. So I was just playing around with manifestation, and I said, you know, and it happened twice, and
On multiple
real
days.
quick.
Yeah.
And you know, you can do things like, you know, oh, you're driving to the grocery store and you want to manifest a really good parking place, you know? So try that. And when the parking place shows up, or when the person says the thing that you said you were going to manifest, it's just a fun little, you know, inspiration going, oh my gosh, it really worked. Now let me make it a little bit bigger. And, you know, because obviously I didn't like spend the whole evening going, oh, someone's going to say buttercup. Someone's going to say buttercup. Tomorrow, someone's going to say buttercup. I know someone's going to say butter. Like I didn't spend that. It was just like a fun, lighthearted little, oh, I'm totally going to hear someone say buttercup tomorrow. And whatever. And you don't even have to put a time limit on it. You could say this week, you know, or you just leave it up to the universe when you're going to hear it. But just little things like that can make it just like a fun thing. And like I said, once you see those little things occurring, it will spur you on to try for bigger things.
I like that. I do notice that more, that I'm aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since I started thinking about it as a like a sign that I'm on the right path, or I'm doing something correctly,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm where I'm supposed to be, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I take that as. Like if I'm listening to a song and I'm at the airport, this was the craziest one. As I looked behind me, I was in the terminal, I saw a Southwest flight airplane. And as I looked at it and made the discovery, a song I was listening to referenced Southwest flights. And it was like, I mean, it was literally at the same time. And I was like, okay, that's definitely coincidental, but too coincidental to not be a sign that I might survive this plane. Might survive this plane ride. So.
Yeah, so that was definitely a synchronicity. So now play with creating something happening, not just noticing
I've been doing that.
it. Oh, you have been creating? Okay,
oh, yeah.
good.
Manifest it without stealing it.
I've manifest it. Don't steal, manifest.
Yeah.
I like that.
Another t-shirt.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. No theft. No, I'm trying to manifest a boat. Oh. So when I buy clothes you would see somebody who like owned a boat
wearing.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you have Sperry's?
Not yet, but I will buy them now.
Once you get those, that'll complete the process and you'll actually have a boat in your driveway the next day.
So now you are being
boom.
Now I need a lake.
Yep.
who you believe the boat
Yeah.
owner would be. That's awesome.
Right. And, what do you envision boat owners doing all the time? Who's
Right.
drinking a martini on their boat, listening to music, not working. So, I try to just be like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I think it would be really, really interesting to see if any of our listeners try any of the little things. And if it shows up for them, to let us know, leave a comment. I think that'll be really fun
You got to acknowledge it too.
to see.
I feel like I see it happen more frequently
Mhm.
if I acknowledge that's what it is. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, there's a sign.
Like, oh, yeah.
And it might happen a couple hours later, similar type
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna acknowledge it again.
That's one
So,
of the first things, is to recognize it when it does pop up. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
and I always saw it, especially when I was young. I just never knew what to call it or anything. I was like, well, it's very coincidental. And then now I just frame it differently.
Yeah.
And I feel like ever since then, everything is just so smooth.
Yeah.
Life
Awesome.
is
You know what I'm
easier.
manifesting right now?
What?
A card.
Oh, let's pull a card.
Ooh.
See how easy that was, right?
You manifested a card.
It's happening.
Look at that. What deck is this?
Oh.
Oh boy.
Oh, you manifested
made a
like
big mess.
12.
I'm going to pick those up and do again. I'm using the Quantum Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor today.
Okay.
And I made a big mess. That was my mess. It wasn't, I don't think these cards were meant for us. Although
I would take a photo. Hey, we got that one earlier.
I was shuffling before we started.
That happened twice. Okay, what does that say?
A card fell out.
Hold on.
And it was your higher self. And just now in this mess, when I was shuffling, the same card fell out.
With what?
With
Can you take a photo just so we can look at it later? Or maybe that is what we're supposed to hear.
transformation.
Twice. We were just talking about coincidences and
Okay.
multiple
All right.
signs.
So there were, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 6 cards that fell out.
I don't think we have to go through the descriptions of all
So
of them.
exactly. So one of them is definitely maybe a thing we're supposed to say, because it did fall out before we started today and now it has come out again. So
Yeah.
maybe this is our card.
That's what I'm saying.
But let me just tell you what the other ones say.
Yeah.
So we also got joyous fun, transformation, hidden motivations, optimism,
This is all manifestation
and peace.
words.
You're right.
Literally
of these
all of that
things
is
are
manifestation.
manifestation words.
Those are like the pillars of manifestation, I feel
Yes,
like.
you're right.
That's insane.
You're absolutely right. They are. So I feel like all of these things, it's going to be joyously fun for us to manifest things, right? And especially when we start seeing the things show up, the little things to the bigger things. It can help us figure out our hidden motivations, right? Could be our subconscious thoughts that we have going on that are hidden, that we don't realize, that are creating what we have. So if we want to create something else, then we have to use transformation to transform our old thoughts and belief and patterns in our subconscious and create our new neural pathways. And we have to remain optimistic with our optimism card, and then be in a peaceful frame of mind while we are doing this.
Train your brain.
Train
Peace.
your brain.
I just feel like there's so many ways you can interpret
Yeah.
those cards.
Of course
And
there
it looks
is.
like pillars to everything.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
6 pillars of manifestation.
Yeah. Did we just invent that?
Well, something did.
That was amazing.
Okay.
Or it already existed and something wanted us to
So-
know.
Like math.
All right. So the card that came out twice, I'm going to read that one, is your higher self.
I feel like that's the anchor card.
That's
yeah.
the anchor card. All right. So it says, this card shows a woman's heart with brilliant white wings radiating golden light. It represents your own eternal spirit, your higher self, the part of you that existed before this life, before all the issues you think this life is about. You are entering a very valuable and intuitive time, one in which you're able to feel true depth of your power. You are shedding the feelings of doubt and limitation, reaching deep within to feel the boundless strength of eternity vibrating in your soul. This is your true self, your lifeline to truth, higher consciousness, and timeless connections. Meditate on your soul's identity to gain all of the understanding you need and all the solutions that you seek. Your soul is clearing the way for profound blessings to come. So let this sacred self guide you. As you do, you'll begin to notice magical happenings in your life.
That's also manifestation.
All your manifestations coming true.
Anchor.
I
That
like
was
it.
supposed to happen.
That was supposed to happen. I mean, it came out at the beginning when I was first setting up and getting out the cards. I just shuffled a few. One card came out. I was just going to pick it up, and Dillon said, wait a minute.
I acknowledged it.
What card is that? And we noticed it. And then again, I was just shuffling, and all 6 of these came out, and that was one of the cards. So I think you're absolutely right. This was meant to be our card today. And you're right. I think it has everything to do. All of these cards have to do with our topic of manifestation. So that is so cool.
What a coincidence.
Not a coincidence.
Exactly.
Synchronicities.
Exactly.
All right.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Absolutely. That was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode. We are truly grateful for each of you. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to follow us on whatever platform you are listening. If you're listening on a podcast platform, please consider leaving a review. If you're listening on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you're alerted when new episodes are released. Please also leave comments. We would love to know what you think. You can also share this with someone that you think might enjoy our content. Any interaction with the channel truly helps it grow. You can also email us at michelle@fromfinetofab.com, and that's Michelle with 2 L's. Until next time, be fabulous. This podcast is meant for entertainment purposes only. We are not medical, legal, or financial professionals, so always consult a qualified expert before making any changes to your life.